Welcome to Remix Moments with Martine, where we will remix your mindset one moment at a time. I'm your host, Martine Williams, and I'm here to bring you a quick burst of inspiration, insight, and a fresh spin on your mompreneur journey. In just a few minutes, we'll remix your mindset, energize your day, and keep you moving forward with purpose. Let's dive in to today's moment. Hey, my mompreneur friends. I'm so excited to connect with you on another Remix Moment with Martine. And today we're going to be diving into a topic that can change how you approach challenges and opportunities. And it's two words: curious energy. You know, as mompreneurs, it's easy to feel drained, right, by the pressures of both running a business and running a family. But what if I told you that one shift in your mindset could help you break free from feeling stuck? That shift is embracing curiosity. So Albert Einstein once said, "I have no special talents. I'm only passionately curious." If curiosity worked for Einstein, imagine what it could do for you as a mompreneur, what it can do for me. And this topic has come up quite a bit on my coaching calls with my clients. And even today, speaking with one of my clients who we've kind of discovered a pattern. So a pattern of where she's super excited and when new ideas come up or when she thinks about some new ideas. And so she's just in this curious energy of what it could be and the dreams of how it could be successful for her. But the moment she gets down into the details, the moment she gets down into how to execute and gets into the how and gets into the I have to figure it out energy, she gets overwhelmed. She starts backtracking and she wants to just stop. And she just, I just can't handle, I get overwhelmed. I don't have time for this. And it's been really eye-opening for me as her coach, but also for her to see that this has become a pattern. And so what happens is then you just start making excuses for why you don't want to do the thing that you were just recently excited about because you're no longer curious. You're trying to get it right. And honestly, this is a trap that I have fallen into as well in entrepreneurship. And right now, I'm having so much fun in my business because I am in a space of curious energy. I am so curious about how to continue to serve you, how to continue to come up with topics that will help you in your mompreneur journey, how I can show up for you, how I can provide opportunities for you to engage with me. You see me doing a lot more workshops, virtual workshops. You haven't seen me on social media, but you've been seeing me show up in other areas. And it's just been really fun to be curious and to know that some of these things may work and some of these things may not work. But the moment I drop into doing it right, or the feeling of I have to get it right, I stop. I stop taking action. And part of this is how I'm wired. Part of it is the strengths of my personality that I have developed and that I have illuminated by looking at my own pro scan. And for this other client, it's the same thing. And so that's the beauty of knowing your personality. You don't have to shame yourself for knowing this is just how you naturally operate, but also being able to catch it when it's not serving you and making the adjustments that you need and dropping down into this curious energy. So because it keeps coming up, I wanted to bring it up for this week's remix moment because I want to remix your mindset on it. And so there are going to be three key points that I want to talk to you about. The first one is, what is curious energy? First of all, curious energy is about approaching life with a spirit of exploration and openness. So instead of seeing obstacles as things that drain your energy, curiosity lets you see them as puzzles to solve or opportunities to learn. It's about asking questions like, what can I learn from this? Or what's possible here? Rather than immediately jumping into frustration or defeat. It's having the mindset of possibility versus the problem. And I could do a whole other episode just on that, but there's a lot of that going on right now too. When we have the mindset of the problem versus what's possible, it shifts the energy, it shifts your motivation, it blocks and keeps you stuck. So in fact, according to the study published by Neuron, curiosity increases dopamine levels in our brains, making us more focused and better at learning and remembering things. So when you're curious, your brain actually helps you to stay engaged and creative. which is perfect for the challenges we face as mompreneurs. So I want you to really think about that. When you're in curious energy, what your brain is doing and allowing for you to stay creative and to stay engaged, because you're not thinking, I have to get it right. I have to figure this all out before I take a step. The second point is how curiosity helps us. So curiosity helps us focus on progress rather than perfection. When you're curious, you're not as focused on getting things right. Again, you're more interested in discovering what works, what feels aligned, what you're truly passionate about. This shift helps you take action without the pressure of needing to have it all figured out. And I want you to feel that. I want you to think about whatever entrepreneur journey you're in or season of life you're in as a mom. What if you just became really curious? And I actually even told my coach, like, I think I'm going to buy or download like the Curious George sticker and put it somewhere on my computer to remind me just to stay curious. My kids loved that movie. I don't know if you watched that movie, but I mean, you think about, he was just so curious about everything. And when I stay in curious energy, I'm not trying to figure it all out, have all the details, have the plans before I take action. So Ken Robinson, an expert on creativity, once said that curiosity is the engine of achievement. When we stay curious, we're constantly fueling that engine that drives our success as mompreneurs. And research from the Harvard Business Review shows that people who are curious tend to be more innovative and perform better at work. So I want you to imagine what could happen if you stayed curious and saw your businesses or your business as spaces to explore rather than places where we have to be perfect. What if you stayed curious and saw your relationship with your kids as spaces to explore rather than places where you have to be perfect? What if you stayed curious and saw your health journey as spaces to explore rather than places where you have to be perfect? You fill in the blank there. And then the other point is really some practical tips that I wanted to share with you for tapping into curious energy. So now you may be convinced, you're like, okay, this is the mindset shift I want to have. I know what curious energy is now. And maybe this is the first time you've thought about it in this way, because honestly, this is what I've been encouraging my coaching clients with, is we've just not been taught how to manage our energy in this way, our emotional energy. We've not been taught how to manage our brains and look at the things we're thinking about and what are the feelings that we're getting from those thoughts. And so this is a lot of work that I've been doing with my clients, and it's been a game changer for them. So practical tip number one is to ask better questions. Like when you're faced with a challenge, replace why is this happening to me with what can I learn from this? Or what are my options? This small shift keeps you open to growth. And just recently with another client, we were talking about this, and it really wasn't about the curious energy, but it was really how for her to shift her mindset on how what's happening is happening for her and not to her. And how this one thing that's been going on in her home is actually driving success. It's driving conversations, hard conversations, but it's driving energy to her marriage that needs to be worked on, that needs to be addressed, that needs to have some attention be put on it. And so another really hard situation, but the one is putting a spotlight on the other. And so again, what can I learn from this? What are my options? What does this make possible? Is this happening for me versus to me? And I know that's really hard sometimes, but it is a very intentional thought for you to have, a really intentional question for you to ask. The second practical tip is to be open to experimenting. Try new things. That's what entrepreneurship is. I've heard someone say years ago that entrepreneurship is the number one personal development journey you will ever go on. And personal development means that you're developing, you're trying things, and some things are going to work and some things aren't going to work. So try new things in your business, in your life. Curiosity is about action, small, intentional steps forward. Don't worry about perfection. Just focus on learning and being curious. You've heard me say this more than one time on the podcast, but a belief that I hold very, very deeply and that helps me to keep resilient when people ask me, How did you stay resilient through some of the changes when I was in the direct sales industry? Even now, how am I staying resilient as I build my business? Is this belief right here that I'm either getting the result that I want or the lesson that I need. And so I don't take failure as a personal character flaw. I don't take it as something's wrong with me. I take it as, you know what, I just tried something and it didn't work. And I'm either going to try it again from a different lens or a different perspective or a different energy or a different mindset, or I'm going to try something completely different. So embracing curiosity allows you to do that. But if you're embracing perfection or you're embracing, I have to have this figured out, it's really hard for you not to take failure as a personal rejection. And the last practical tip is to embrace uncertainty. So we talked about this on, I think last week, or maybe it was this last week. But instead of fearing the unknown, view it as a space for discovery. Marie Curie once said, be less curious about people and more curious about ideas. So for us as mompreneurs, this means avoiding comparisons and focusing on the new ideas and opportunities that are unique to our journey. So it keeps you from the comparisonitis, the comparing and despairing, what she's doing, and I should be doing it that way. No, you do it the way it works for you, that's in alignment with you, in alignment with the season that you're in alignment with your strengths. But embracing uncertainty gives you the opportunity to be curious in a space for discovery. So as you go through your day, as you go through your week this week, I encourage you to tap into that curious energy. Let curiosity fuel your growth as a mompreneur, as a mom, as a woman, as a wife, as a friend. You don't need certainty. You just need a willingness to explore. And you might just surprise yourself with how much you can accomplish when you stay open to what's possible. And remember that when you're curious, you're not just asking questions, you're also driving your own success. So take note of when you're in curious energy this week, and take note of when you're in, I have to have it figured out energy. I think it'll be a really great exercise for you to just be paying attention to when you're not being curious, you're trying to be perfect. When you feel that pressure, the pressure is coming from you feeling like there's a right way and a wrong way. And that's not always true. It could just be, I'm going to try it this way. It could be right. It could be wrong, but you're going to find out. The only way to know if it works is to try it, right? If you're in sales, you know the answer is always no unless you ask. Same thing with this. So thanks for joining me today for a Remixed Moment with Martine. I'm going to highly encourage you to go to our show notes and click the link to book your free clarity call. If you're not sure what a clarity call is, it's you and me for 1 hour. We're going to get real and real clear with where you are, where you want to go, what are some beliefs that are blocking that progress for you, and what is a step-by-step plan? What are your next steps? So it gives you the opportunity for a safe place to have that discussion, to get super clear, and to know what your next step is. It's completely free. It's 1 hour, you and me. Go to the show notes, sign up for a free clarity call, and I will see you on the next Remix Moment. Well, that's it, friends, for this Remix Moment. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me, and I hope that you are feeling inspired and ready to take on whatever comes your way. Remember, even small moments can lead to big changes. If this moment made a difference, be sure to subscribe, share with your fellow moms, and leave me a quick review. Seriously, it means the world to me to hear from you. And until next time, I am believing in you, and I will catch you in the next moment.